Well, that's it. It's a two-pronged situation we have. We've been hearing from within the military and within law enforcement that the federal government is preparing for an economic collapse, and that's plainly coming, and they know it. They're just not getting the people prepared. In fact, like we said earlier, they're keeping track on those who do. And then the other side of it is they are destroying the Bill of Rights, and that's the thing. I don't care if you think we're a conspiracy theorist. Go read the bills, and then go read the Hamdi decision from 2004. Go look at the Padilla decision in the Fourth Circuit, even before that, and go see with the precedents that are already in place in all three branches of the federal government. The executive branch, the legislative, and judicial have committed treason and consider you, the American people, to be just like the Iraqis. They want to do the same thing to you they do over in Iraq. Just be able to come black bag you or use a predator drone against you. Obama's already done that to 2 American citizens, one a 16-year-old kid. And so they're already telling you they're going to destroy the Bill of Rights, and you're going to lose it unless you stand up against them. And they know an economic collapse is coming, and they're getting ready for that. They're gearing up. We hear rumors from across the country from police that they're seeing, like, crate loads of shotguns coming in and extra ammunition and things like that.
Well, wait, we've seen the mainstream articles about even non-policing federal and state agencies are getting riot shotguns.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's confirmed.
So, but cases of them coming in, and so all of this is happening. The American people need to understand that we are precisely in the same situation the founding generation was in like 1774. They have already done many of the same things the founders listed in the Declaration of Independence as being the reason for taking up arms and rebelling against the king and parliament. Denial of jury trial, being spirited away across the seas, in our case it's Gitmo, being subjected to a jurisdiction foreign to their constitution. In our case, it's the international laws of war, which are foreign to our Constitution. They're trying to impose upon us.
They're not even following the international laws, though. They're not even following Geneva. I mean, you're right. But look, if you study the founders as I have, I know you have, it's very informative and riveting. I don't even want to call it entertaining. But if you study the letters, the articles, even the British histories, because I've read both angles of it and the French, so 3 angles, you look at it, people early on, 1745, 50, 60, 65, there were people warning, hey, they're not giving us our basic rights as Englishmen. Magna Carta is being violated. This is going to grow. This is going to get worse. Oh, shut up. You're just being anti-patriotic. And by the end, it was because there were people in 15 years of committees of correspondence, what I'm doing, what you're doing, what Ron Paul's done, because they were there warning when it all came true. That was why you had a hardcore group that understood what they were facing. And I think that's our ace in the hole, Stuart. Closing comments on that, and then this unconfirmed report you've got of, we know they've done this before, but National Guard and a drill and a questionnaire, would you fire on citizens? And people saying, no, we're not going to do this. And I mean, I know you're looking into that, but the latest on that.
Well, one point on the laws of war is, yes, they are using that as justification for stripping away the Bill of Rights. But as you said, they're not even following the laws of war, because they're asserting that you're an unlawful combatant, and that therefore they don't have to give you detain you as a POW or give you any kind of due process, even under the international laws of war. But that doesn't make a difference to me. The Bill of Rights is what we are, like you said, entitled to as a birthright. I don't care if they gave me all the proceedings under the international laws of war and under the Geneva Conventions. That's still a violation of my right to jury trial. That's still gone. So all of that, to me, is absolutely illegitimate. It should be plainly illegitimate to everybody else out there. And all the military and police, you need to go read the treason clause. That tells you exactly what must be done with an American accused of making war against his own country. End of story. If it's not that, a jury trial with 2 witnesses to the overt act, it is unconstitutional. And I don't care what the Supreme Court says. The Supreme Court ruled the Japanese internment constitutional because they said it was military necessity.
They ruled black people weren't human.
Yeah, exactly. And they also ruled that even after the 14th Amendment, that, hey, black people are at equal protection as long as they're given their own car. That's somehow equal protection. Go to the back of the bus. That's equal protection. It's total nonsense. And they also ruled and upheld eugenics, forced sterilization. 1 generation or 2 generations.
Yeah, look, Marbury versus Madison. The Supreme Court all day can rule things that are unconstitutional. It's as legitimate as saying blacks are property and can be killed at will. It's a load of garbage, and I disregard all of it because I have organic rights and liberty, and I am a free man, and I will fight to defend it.
And also, we all have an obligation to look at the Constitution and say that's unconstitutional. That was the point that Madison and Jefferson made in the Kentucky Resolutions and Virginia Resolves, that the states have an obligation to declare something unconstitutional. And I would assert the same goes for the American people, and everyone has ever sworn that oath.
Well, the Ninth Amendment says, I mean, in the Bill of Rights says that it's reserved to the people, that even though it's not listed here, common sense says it's so.
Yeah, the enumeration herein of certain rights shall not be interpreted as meaning we don't retain other rights. And what they meant by that is, hey, our rights don't come from the Bill of Rights. Our rights come from God. We have a sea of rights, an entire constellation of stars of rights. You can't just look at that and go, okay, you only have the rights listed here. We have all other rights retained. Yeah,
because Jefferson said they'll try to twist things, so we've got to have this Ninth Amendment. In closing, what about this unconfirmed report that you're looking into about military? We know there was a stand down of some National Guard at Katrina. That's been confirmed. What about the latest?
Well, this is kind of like almost like a Michael New situation, but it's an unconfirmed report we got on Facebook from someone in Indiana and said the International Guard had a whole unit that was part of an emergency response exercise, and during this exercise some officers gave them a survey and asked them to answer it, and one of the questions was, would they use lethal force against the American people? And I don't know the rest of the context, but it was apparently so bad that first one soldier refused to fill out the survey, much like the survey back in '94 at 29 Palms. He refused to fill out the survey, and then he put his weapon down, stepped to the back of the formation, and then other soldiers in the formation followed suit until they all stepped back and said, we will not take part in this survey. That's what we were told. We have not confirmed this. The latest word from the source is that it's being handled internally. The two soldiers, a sergeant and a specialist that he was in contact with, have asked him to, not go further with this anymore. They don't want to go further, making it public. They're saying it'll be handled internally, and the officers will be investigated for giving the survey. So I don't know if we can say it's truly credible.
Well, yeah, I mean that's standard. That's standard backing out of BS, but it's also standard of how they would handle it, covering it up. What's your gut tell you?
I think it's credible. I just by the way the guy wrote and what he said, I think it's credible. And frankly, the fact that the soldiers involved would like to just not have this be a public deal is in exchange for not getting in trouble. That's what oftentimes happens, right? They say, look, just stop talking about it. Everything will be fine. Don't worry. I think it's very credible, but we can't confirm it yet, and we might not be able to because the source is telling us that now these soldiers don't want to go further.
But it was a rumor about Katrina for years that was a big standout, and now it's been confirmed.
That's right. We had an eyewitness who was there, Staff Sergeant Joshua May, and we have heard of other units that did the same thing. And that's the thing, is a lot happens behind the scenes. A lot happens that never gets on the news.
We didn't know for a year that Fox Fallon of CENTCOM refused to attack Iran 4 years ago, but later it was confirmed. Stuart Rhodes will continue to talk to you, and look at oathkeepers.org for developments. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, there goes Stuart Rhodes with invaluable research. We're going to come back, continuing in this vein, with Floyd Maury, a Japanese-American, former member of the California State Legislature. He heads up the Japanese-American Citizens League. We've talked to him on the phone. We're going to talk to him here in a moment via Skype. He is very concerned about the NDAA and everything else that's happening. We'll talk to him after the break. It's InfoWars Nightly News, InfoWarsNews.com, PrisonPlanet.tv. Don't forget, we are viewer-supported. You see it first and archive, but then it's posted on the web and millions see it throughout the week. And it is your support that makes all that possible. 15 cents a day, monthly membership, $5.95. The yearly membership is 40% off right now for the yearly membership at PrisonPlanet.tv. We'll be right back.
What's up with these sorry politicians? Lots of bark. When it's showtime, whimpering like little Shih Tzus. You want big cuts. Ron Paul's been screaming it for years. Budget crisis? No problem. Got $1 trillion year one. That's trillion with a T. Department of Education? Gone. Interior, Energy, HUD, Commerce? Gone. Later, bureaucrats. That's how Ron Paul rolls. Want to drain the swamp? Ron Paul. Do it.
I'm Ron Paul, and I approve this message.